This morning, a decade question has once resurfaced again this election. Should we get rid of the Electoral College? But more importantly, what do you replace a nearly 3 century old system that's been the backbone of American elections? And what future does it uphold? Looking at both sides, there are more questions than answers, and that's why CNFM 06 Radio, Centristical National Front Media, is here at this moment. I'm Brian, and welcome to this morning's talk. Before we get down to business, many of you newcomers may be asking, what is this Electoral College, and what does that have to do with the elections? It makes it simple. What is different from directly voting your state officials? The basic idea is that every state has a certain amount of electors equal to the amount of congressional delegates the state has. These electors are apportioned by population, and each state is automatically given 2 Senate seats and a House seat. More importantly, most states use a system called winner takes all. Whatever candidate gets the most popular vote within a state receives all of its electoral votes. That brings us back to the question, should the Electoral College be removed? First, about the alternative. A national popular vote movement which is on the horizon seeking popular vote to be counted only. This would mean getting rid of the Electoral College. It suggests many of its biggest flaws. Such example is winner takes all being undemocratic due to the losing candidate forfeiting their electoral votes to the winner. In relation to that, a candidate could still win the election without the most popular vote. Although this is a small possibility, it has happened many times in the past. Because of this, the movement recommends a 50% or above popular vote for the candidate to win. But, as simple and great as that sounds, the downside of direct popular vote is third parties like Wallace in 1968 and Perot in 1992 can change the outcome of elections. To also mention, 18 presidents after 1789 did not have 50% or above popular votes, such as Lincoln with 39% and Kennedy with 49.7%. So, if the Electoral College is replaced with direct voting, there isn't really a way to determine who wins if the popular vote requirements are not met. Furthermore, smaller states in the elections are meant to have a bigger chance at the elections, but as a result unbalances the representation among every state. If you compare the most and least populated states, California has around 1 electoral vote per 700,000 people, while Wyoming has nearly 200,000 people per electoral vote. A voter in Wyoming will count almost quadruple more than a voter in California. Though fortunately, states with more equal populations will have more equal vote value. Moving on, another flaw are faithless electors. They are electors who vote for the opposing candidate instead of the intended candidate, and last recently happened in 2016. In some states, the punishment is just a fine, but in other states, it is a felony. Take a moment to think about the penalty for a faithless elector. Should it be more consequential? Last but not least, the Electoral College faces another enemy, gerrymandering. This is when politicians draw unfair boundaries so that the party candidates will have a better chance of winning as many seats as possible. Most of you are probably wondering the origin of the name gerrymandering and where it came from. Back in 1812, when the Massachusetts governor, Mr. Gerry, passed a bill for district redrawing, an editorial cartoonist in Boston noticed a district drawing that looked like a salamander, and so he called it a gerrymander. We are now nearing the end of this morning's radio talk. After all that's been discussed, what are your thoughts? My name is Brian, and thank you for listening. This is CNFM 06 Radio, and stay tuned in for next time.